Welcome. Please sit in the chair. The show is about to begin.
Okay, slowly, one step at a time, and oh my fucking god! That was way more stressful than I thought it would be. I fought death claws for fuck's sake. Why does sliding down a tunnel scare me so much? It's probably my sixth sense telling me I should not be down here. Fucking hell, I can smell that through the rebreather. How is that even possible? Oh, hello. Fire geckos aren't the only things Cook should be worried about, although they are certainly no joke. Wow, Eddie. I'm not even gonna comment on the irony of a burning fire gecko. God, look at this. They tore right through the wall. Like I said, lowest bidder. But anyway, the geckos are one thing, but it's a problem you can shoot. The air down here is something else entirely. Oh boy. Yeah, see? Totally solvable with a shotgun. But if Cook wants to mine this shit, he better have some proper breathing filters. Reactor? Oh, it's behind all that? Is this like another Vault 34 scenario? I swear, these old vaults are like ticking time bombs. Oh, did you hear that? Here be dragons, I guess. Well, let's see if we can do something about that. Yep, there it goes. Here were dragons, more like. How the hell did that thing even get trapped in this room? Did the door close automatically? Ooh, sorry Eddie, but I doubt any of these computers can be salvaged. I mean, I can't imagine 200 years of sulfur corrosion is gonna do them any favors. But never mind 200 years, I can't imagine breathing this shit for even just a few hours would be a good idea. I don't know much about sulfur, but if the human nose equates that shit with this smell, it's probably not a good sign. Okay, there's no way this terminal is still working, right? I mean, it's got power, but it's gotta be corrupted by now. Are you fucking kidding me? What are these things made of? Well, now I feel obligated to read this. The others keep telling me not to worry, but I feel it sometimes. There's something in here with us. I can always hear weird noises coming from above my room. Okay, so even the technicians down here were going crazy. Wow, Voltec, I think you were a little bit too successful with this one. Actually, that's an interesting point. The people who were in on it must have had their families down here. Were they in on it too, or were they also part of the experiment? If it's the latter, then wow, that is fucking cold. You don't do that to your family. Oh, what the fuck? Night Stalkers! These things are down here too? Oh, Cook doesn't know shit! Oh no, 12 rounds are not enough! Good grief. I would charge extra for this if it wasn't for the fact that we're shutting this whole operation down. That Lem guy better appreciate this. Not sure why he didn't just shoot Cook when he's not looking, or indeed why Cook hasn't done the same thing to him. I'm starting to think this vault is rubbing off on both of them. Oh, you don't have a door like that if there's nothing interesting behind it. But yeah, they're both so occupied with paranoia that they can barely function anymore. And that's what scares me about this vault. All this happened with little more than a simple division along arbitrary lines. What does that say about people in general? Now, imagine if you add some legitimate differences into the mix. Like, oh, I don't know, people from two different factions. The paranoia would be through the fucking roof. I wonder if Bobby thought of that. He's gonna be a dictator in a region filled with very diverse groups. Would they actually be willing to unite around a central figure like that? Maybe temporarily while an external threat is present, but in the long term? What happens if after a few years, people from West Side and North Vegas start to fight over resources? I could definitely see that happening. Two fiercely independent groups who each think they have the exclusive right to settle the land. Would Bobby act as a mediator, or would he just let them kill each other? Would he even care? I have no fucking idea. All I know is I would have my work cut out for me keeping these groups in check, that's for sure. At least each of them owes me favors for one reason or another. Damn it, a part of me is actually kind of grateful that Voltec did all this. Now I can see the potential problems over the horizon. But fuck Voltec, I'm not giving them a single credit for ruining this many people's lives. Anyway, back to the present. What the hell is this tunnel for? Oh, is that tunnel under the Overseer's desk? Well, that was not what I was trying to find, but okay. I guess that's a shortcut back to this level. Oh hey Lem, you didn't see shit. If Cook asks, this leads straight to the gecko's nest, and I'm having the mother of all battles keeping them there. It's not safe yet, is what I'm saying. You can work out the rest. But seriously though, I need to have a chat with some of these less well-off settlements at some point. I'm not having a civil war breaking out just because of paranoia. I thought I was paranoid before, but holy shit, I didn't know the meaning of that word until I came here. There's no way the Reds and Blues didn't kill each other. Whoa, look at this place. It's like an alternate dimension down here. Is this all made of sulfur? Oh, you're certainly not. God, how many tons of explosives can you get out of this place? Those technicians were just casually sitting around this poisonous hellhole? They must have surgically removed their own noses. I guess that's the only way they won't choke on the fumes of their own bullshit. I guess Lem was right. This would give Cook way too much power, assuming he even knows how to mine it in the first place. Is that thing dead? Better safe than sorry. Did the Night Stalkers do this? I wouldn't mind if another creature cleared out the geckos for us, if it wasn't for the fact that I would have to clear them out as well. There's always a bigger monster, as they say. Well, guess who's the biggest of them all? Spoiler alert, it's the man with the riot shotgun. Evolution and genetic engineering are no match for the power of buckshots. See? I didn't make that up. I am vindicated by hard evidence. Anyway, this cave system is big enough to contain a whole separate wing for the vault. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Could have housed more test subjects, residents. Maybe get a green section, or I guess a yellow section would be more fitting. I guess the air filters would have to work overtime to compensate for the smell. Now that I think about it, maybe we don't want to use the components from this vault. I mean, they must be ruined by now, right? I don't know what would be worse, high-tech sand or sulfur. Either way, I'm sure the warranty has expired. Oh, that's a dead end. Really, when you think about it, I'm doing Cook a favor. You can't stay in this vault indefinitely. Sooner or later, the air filtration system will shut down permanently, and then what are you gonna do? Spend the rest of your life in an environmental suit? How many convicts are willing to put up with that? First they break out of a prison just to end up in another prison, and then they have to confine themselves into a human-sized prison? Hey, you know how they say animals normally run away from loud noises? Well, whoever said that doesn't know shit. Anyway, how much further does this cave stretch on for? I don't want to accidentally walk all the way to NCR or even Legion territory. That's gonna be difficult to explain. Oh yeah, that could stretch on for miles. Fuck that. But yeah, not sure what this stuff is. Certainly looks different. And it looks like it's holding a lot of weight, whatever it is. Huh. Eddie, what do you think? Is that enough to seal this cave, or hell, even this whole vault? What am I thinking? Well, let me give you a hint. It has the letter C and the number 4. You have 3 guesses. Use them wisely.
Oh god, aftershock, aftershock, nobody panic! Okay, you know, maybe we should have set off the explosives after we left the vault. Once again, I just did something without thinking it all the way through. God, first Vault 34 and now this? I didn't know I had a habit of doing shit like that until recently. I should really stop. Anyway, at least I don't have to breathe that shit anymore. I hate to bother Usanagi again, but I think I'm gonna need another checkup after this.
I sure hope that explosion was you. Did you seal off the sulfur?
Well, not 100%, but the structural integrity of that cave is pretty fucked up. Feel free to tell Cook to go down there and then give the wall a good slam with a hammer. He wouldn't be coming back up again, if you know what I'm saying.
Good to hear. Without access to the sulfur, Cook doesn't have much to offer the gang. I guess it's over then. We could turn ourselves in.
If that's what you want, I'm not sure everyone else is gonna share that sentiment, but you're free to try, ironically. I've been meaning to ask, why are you so eager to surrender? It's the last thing I expect from a former convict.
We can't survive like this. There are too many of us, and we don't have the resources. And maybe it's the right thing to do.
Really? The right thing to do? You surprise me. I guess some of you might have been in prison for minor things anyway. Stick with it for a few more years and you can go back to your families. But yes, despite what Cook might tell you, it is the right thing to do.
Thank you. I think I just needed to hear someone else say it. I suppose without rule of law, we're no better than raiders.
Well, damn, now I'm really glad I didn't just walk in here and start shooting. And yes, you guys really were barely a step away from raiders. In fact, the Fiends would have been wise to have your sensibilities. Good thing they didn't, otherwise I might feel bad about all the dismemberment I left behind. Oh, and you might want to consider leaving fairly soon. I'm not sure this vault is gonna stay in one piece for long, considering the damage I left behind. And even if it does, I think the smell might be slowly killing all of you. If you can't smell it anymore, it's not because you're getting used to it, it's because the inside of your nose is being rinsed clean by the chemicals. You're welcome for that mental image. In the meantime, I have a loose end to tie up. You have no idea how badly I wanted to bring up what we did to the powder gangers to this guy. Who knew being diplomatic to a terrorist would be so difficult?
What the fuck have you done? We needed that sulfur.
No, you needed that sulfur. No one else did. Not your crew, and certainly not the people you've been attacking. But in any case, you hired me to kill geckos. That's what I did. In fact, I went a step beyond and killed the Night Stalkers down there too. You didn't mention them. Where's my reward for that?
You won't get a fucking cap from me. And you're lucky I don't blow your goddamn head off. The whole point of killing the geckos was so that we could get at the sulfur. And you've just made that a hell of a lot more difficult. Now fuck off.
Don't be like that. You may have lost this crew, but the powder gangers would love to have your leadership in hell. So, good luck. Well, it's hypothetical. I didn't say Westside and North Vegas would definitely start fighting each other at some point. I just said they might. When you think about it, those two are actually ones who have the most in common with each other. They're both dirt poor and barely able to scrape a living together, and they're both in the shadow of Vegas. Whoa, wait a minute. It's one of those NCR heavy troopers. Good lord, they're out here too now. This is a trading post. Well, either things are starting to ramp up or those fire ants are more dangerous than I thought. But anyway, with the right diplomacy, West Side and North Vegas can actually merge into one group. I think that's gonna be necessary. War is only possible if they start to struggle against each other, not with each other. The bigger problem will be trying to get some of the more, shall we say, outlandish factions to cooperate. I'm talking about factions like the Boomers and, yes, the Brotherhood of Steel. Those guys will never fully allow themselves to be annexed. Even if you try to do it by force, they have nothing in common with the rest of the wasteland, so that's the ticking time bomb. No, the best you can do is come to some kind of mutually beneficial arrangement. Again, it's doable, especially if I'm the one who brings it up. I might need to leave House out of it, considering they never met him before. Plus, why should they trust someone who doesn't negotiate directly? I've at least talked to and helped them before. With me, they know who they're dealing with. Well, there's your unassuming outer door. Okay, you know what? They've been doing this longer than I have. I'm sure they can handle themselves. Besides, I can't be everywhere at once. What's the point of even hiring caravan guards if they won't get their hands dirty? They're just giant ants after all. That makes them easier to hit. Ooh, there's a chill in the air. And we're immediately beset by wild animals. What a great start. And I guess this vault is abandoned as well. Well, apart from you guys. But you're not registered. Ooh, that actually smells quite nice. But yeah, just for once, I want to see a vault that's not completely ruined. At least we don't need to open one of these fucking doors ever again. My ears are still ringing. Haven't they ever heard of lubricants? Okay, skeletons and a gun. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I guess survival of the test subjects was never really a requirement in any of these vaults. So for all I know, this was considered a success. And this is small fry compared to Vault 34. I'm honestly not sure how I should rank these vaults based on how fucked up they are. Some things are beyond conventional measurements. Security recording vault entrance. Okay, sure, I'll take a look. Oh, it's on the holotape. Okay, fine. Show me how these people got massacred. I'm sure it'll be fun listening for the whole family.
Are we really gonna do this? It's open. We could just leave.
I couldn't. Not after that.
After what?
We don't deserve to leave. A shining example. That's what it called us. But we were. We did what we were supposed to. Not by a long shot. Anybody would have done what we did.
Did what?
You ask me? That's exactly the problem. Now let's get on with this.
I'll go first. Wait. People should know what happened. They could learn from it. If there's anyone out there at all, I hope they never have to find out. Ready, Harry? Yeah. No.
Alias
no,
and no
no,
adulterer,
wait.
communist. Whoa! Okay, what the fuck? Did I just listen to a group suicide pact? Except one of them got cold feet and shot everyone else? So I guess that was a mass murder instead. Okay, Vault 11, I wasn't expecting that. Now you have me intrigued. What the fuck did they do and what's up with all these posters? They were having an election of some kind, so I guess that's already different from Vote 34. Okay, Rex, I swear to God, if you go nuts, then no more treats. Besides, you will need to compete against Eddie, and he's got a laser. Wow, this guy is jumpy. Well, I don't mind you shooting hostiles, but the problem is you two keep running off like this. Whoa, okay. Dead NCR trooper just randomly hanging out. I think someone should have stuck to their assigned post. More to the point, I think that guy just died to a bunch of rats and mantises. That's embarrassing. Okay, back to the reason why we're here in the first place. There's a lot of shit still lying around here, so I guess the vault hasn't been looted recently. Plus, it's actually not in terrible shape, all things considered. So there's a good chance the final component is here somewhere. And it better be too, because otherwise we're out of vaults. The only place left will be Vault 21, and there's fuck all left in there. Okay, can you guys calm down? I'm not running off after you, so if you accidentally find a super rat or a mantis king, then I'm not gonna be there to lend a hand. I guess this vault must have been abandoned for some time to get this badly infested. Actually, now that I think about it, that security recording kind of implied that those people were the only ones left, or at least the last ones to leave. Holy shit, whatever happened here was definitely up there with Vault 34 in terms of casualty count. Election guide, huh? I guess I was right. Okay, give me some answers, please. Dear fellow Vault Dweller, congratulations! Your dedication to the democratic process is the bedrock upon which the continued stability of Vault 11 is based. Now, to help you make your decision for this year's election, the coalition of Vault 11 voting blocks has put together this handy Dweller's official guide to obtaining overseers democratically, or do good. Oh god, oh, my spleen! Oh, okay, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna, please, don't ever do that again. That contains a summary of the leading candidates for overseer, as well as their statements, key positions, and most importantly, endorsements. Okay, well, so far so normal. Actually, this is fascinating. I know the NCR's democratic process is based on the old world model, but now we get to see what that really looked like. Sincerely, Roy Gottlieb, Chairman Coalition of Vote 11 Voting Blocks, President Justice Block. Okay, let's see who made the shortlist. Candidate Henry Glover. Endorsements: Utilitarian Block, Divine Will Block, Allied Service Workers Block. Wow, some of these names are 10 out of 10 on the pretentious scale. I'm a devoted husband and father of 6 beautiful children. My oldest, Sam, was on the honor roll for this quarter, and I couldn't be prouder of him. What's that got to do with being overseer? What are your qualifications? My youngest, Henry Jr., just said his first word, and it was Dada. Okay, that's a little too much information, and where the hell are you going with this? We've got this special bond already, and he's still just a baby. Friends, when you go to the polls this election, I want to think of your own children. Then I want you to think of Sam and Henry Jr. And I guess your 4 other children who didn't make the list? Picture their faces. Nate Stone should be overseer, not me. What? What the fuck kind of statement was that? You rambled about a bunch of irrelevant personal shit, and then you nominated someone else? How much alcohol was consumed during the making of that statement? Who else do we have? Candidate Donna Haley. Endorsements: Human Dignity Block, United Vote Technicians Block. I'm aware of the rumors circulating about me. I want everyone to know that there are vicious lies being spread by the other candidates in a desperate smear campaign. Oh boy, here we go. I have never in my life done anything so depraved, let alone 4 such things. Aha, good old smear campaigns. I guess that shit is timeless. But even if I had, that still wouldn't mean you should vote for me. Oh, what the fuck, you too? Consider the fact that I am grossly underqualified for the position, and that both of my opponents are far more deserving. I know nothing about governance. You would be hard-pressed to find a worse candidate than me. I can promise you my administration would be a disaster. Okay, I take back what I said about that Glover guy. So these people are being nominated for a position they really don't want? I'm so confused. Candidate Nathan Stone. Endorsements: Justice Block. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be a candidate, and I wouldn't be if it weren't for all the dirty backroom politics going on around here. It's sickening. You should all be ashamed. Okay, I'm not sure insulting the electorate is a good idea. You gotta get on your knees and start begging like Glover did. Notice for postponement. Fellow citizens, due to the tragic events of the past few days, the coalition of Vote 11 voting blocks has unanimously decided to postpone the election for Overseer pending further investigation into the murders. Uh-oh. Your security team wishes you to know that they are working tirelessly day and night to find the perpetrator and are already following up on a number of promising leads. God willing, if the killer is apprehended swiftly, we may have found a promising new candidate for Overseer. Whoa, excuse me? You want to elect a murderer as the Overseer? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Terry Hart, President, Human Dignity Block. Okay, so clearly, being the Overseer in this vote is really bad. And I'm not just talking about it being a shitty job. I'm talking bad enough to be a fitting punishment for a murderer. And judging by the way Glover was begging there, it sounds like it would somehow prevent him from seeing his children ever again? Do Overseers get killed or something? Is it just a label for death row? But no, that can't be it. Donna was talking about actual governance. So the Overseer does have real powers. So once again, why the fuck are we appointing a murderer? Order 745. Effective immediately, the traditional selection process for Overseer is hereby ended. In lieu of a yearly election, a citizen will be chosen 1 month prior to the start of his or her term with our mainframe's random number generator, ensuring complete impartiality and fairness. Catherine Stone, Overseer. Well, I guess they really did appoint the murderer because she was not in the list of candidates. I guess she was a relative of Nathan Stone? Oh, I have a bad feeling there was a switcheroo going on here. Either way, she made the election irrelevant. Well, so much for getting an insight to pre-war democracy. I don't think Abe Lincoln campaigned for people to spare his life by not voting for him. Although to be fair, he was assassinated, so maybe every election after him adopted this approach. But still, I can't get over how these people were placing someone in charge who would eventually get killed or something similar. Wouldn't they be extremely bitter and start abusing their power to exact revenge? Why wouldn't they? They'll be dead or worse either way. Oh, there it is. I hate Nate became I hate Kate. That explains those posters. I was thinking some of them were giving contradictory information on who you should vote for. Now I know. The posters are telling people why they shouldn't vote for their candidates and why they should vote for someone else. What a system, huh? Hey, no nibbling on the corpses. Show some respect. Holy shit, what happened here? That's a lot of dead bodies. Was there an infectious disease going around here like Vault 22? Either way, nobody bothered to incinerate the bodies, so I guess it killed everyone pretty damn quick, even the doctors. Okay, you guys just get it out of your systems. Just make sure you stay on this floor, got it? I don't want to hear complaining if you get covered in rat droppings. Ooh, there is another possible explanation for all these corpses. What if Kate Stone ordered a mass execution of all the people involved in the murder investigation? Is that something Overseers can do? That's just more reason why this whole system is fucked up. And even if there were limits on their power, they could still deliberately do things to make people miserable. Hey, Human Dignity Block, guess who's gonna be responsible for scrubbing toilets for the rest of the year? But I guess I'm still missing a lot of information, so there might be more nuances to this whole system. But that begs the question, why the fuck are all these people dead? I guess it can't be a disease, otherwise those people in the main entrance would have mentioned it. We did what we were supposed to do. That's starting to sound more ominous the more I think about it. Okay, where did you guys go? Oh, this way, huh? Let me guess, Rex went off to kill some more rats. I wonder if that's a behavior you can program into a cyberdog. This vault could have used something like that. Living pest exterminators. Oh shit, I'm starting to think like those scientists in Vault 22. No, I will have none of that. That just demonstrates how easily two different people can come up with the same ideas. I guess Keely was just delaying the inevitable. Can you imagine what would happen if a psychological expert like Usanagi saw the experiments from Vault 19? Her head would explode. I bet she would have wanted to delete that kind of data too, just like Keely did with Vault 22, but chances are it would have been pointless as well. You know who would appreciate this kind of scientific data? Robert House. It wouldn't surprise me if pre-war CEOs approved of this kind of experiment. They saw people as resources, after all, and what good are resources if you don't exploit them? Okay, nothing new here. Well, he can have this data if that's what he really wants, but he better not start repeating those experiments on the Mojave. I do not want to deal with the fallout for any of these Vault-Tec fuck-ups. Well, I guess he did say he won't interfere with people's lives. Well, I'm gonna hold him to that. Almost every single Vault in the Mojave turned out to be a different kind of hell. Between the Legion and eventually the NCR, we're gonna have more than enough problems stuck in between those two. Oh boy, something's triggering Rex's rat sensors. Super Rat, is that you? Okay, Rex, that was not a challenge. Well, never mind. The Super Rat remains elusive. It's playing hard to get. Anyway, computer room. I've mostly given up hope of finding an inventory, but there might be more insights here. What the hell? Oh, fuck! I've got silicone all over my face. Who the fuck spilled their drink all over the keyboard and didn't clean it up? Oh, dear God. And I thought this vault would be relatively safe. Betrayed by technology yet again. First the god of explosions, and now the machine god too? What do I need to do to appease that guy? Are we gonna have the same problem with this one? Oh, please don't blow up in my face, I beg of you. Oh, thank you, machine god. And there's nothing new on this anyway, for fuck's sake. To think that I praised these things for being indestructible, they had to prove me wrong in the most horrific way possible. Actually, is that why some of these are completely blown out? That's not corrosion, something straight up exploded from the inside. Maybe that's more common than I thought. Oh boy, I sure hope the computers in the Lucky 38 don't use similar components. That would be a rude awakening if Bobby's screen randomly exploded one day. That's gonna be a lot of glass straight into my face. It kinda makes me wonder how often he replaces components. No machine can last forever, especially not in this climate. I sure hope he has access to fresh components and not just a warehouse full of spare parts. How long can that last for realistically? Especially when it comes to his Securitrons. They won't just have erosion from the desert to deal with, they need to actually fight shit. We're gonna need to secure completely independent supply chains going all the way back to raw materials. Even if the robots themselves can last for a long time, their supply of ammunition won't. How do you even manufacture those missiles for a start? Oh my god. Look at all this shit. We're gonna be here for a long time searching through all these cabinets and containers. That final component could be anywhere, and there's a good chance I won't even recognize it when I see it. In fact, it's entirely possible that we've already come across it in the other vaults. Damn it, please don't make me go back to Vault 34, or indeed any of them. Vault 3, maybe. That's the least messed up. Whoa, something ripped this door off. Actually, why am I even surprised by that anymore? It seems like any kind of creature in the Mojave can either go right through a vault door or even a wall. I'm starting to wonder if these vaults could actually withstand a nuclear blast. None of the ones in the Mojave would have had to, considering what House did. Maybe the Super Rat is real after all. Hey! How do we summon him? We're big fans, especially my dog. Well, tell the Super Rat Rex is calling him out. He's throwing down the gauntlet. The Super Rat must come out and defend his honor. This vault isn't big enough for two four-legged monstrosities. There we go, Rex. If the Super Rat doesn't show up after that kind of challenge, then he's not real. So give it a rest, okay? Besides, I feel like you've already taken down far more impressive things than rats. So really, what are you hoping to achieve anyway? It's just gonna be a disappointment. They say never to meet your heroes, but honestly, you shouldn't meet your hypothetical nemesis either. I mean, just look at me. Benny turned out to be a slimy chump, and Caesar turned out to be a delusional old man who couldn't even live up to the myth he built around himself. It was about strength and nothing else with that guy. But then when it came to backing it up, he failed. It was him and his Praetorian guards against the rest of us, and we didn't even have Lily at the time. It's a shame the Legion doesn't really listen to radio, otherwise we could have broadcasted the whole thing live. That would have been one hell of a shock to their ideology. Now, I don't really have a nemesis anymore, at least not in the traditional sense. What I'm actually struggling against now are the politics of this whole conflict. It's like radiation. I can't just solve problems like that by shooting at them, not without creating new ones. It doesn't always look like it, but I feel like I'm walking a tightrope ever since I started working for House. Yeah, but what else am I gonna do? There are no real alternatives now. What's this, the terminal password? Vote number 4, M number 3. Vote for me. Are you sure about that, buddy? I thought being an overseer is a bad thing around here. But as I was saying, I already made my case about the NCR. Can't really go back to them anymore, so I might as well try and make the best out of this current arrangement. Security recording? Oh boy, is anybody else gonna shoot themselves? At least give me some context this time.
She can't do this. It's done. We're done. Nothing's done. She's got the authority. The only thing she can't do is change her own fate.
The only thing?
Nothing says she can't change the selection process for future overseers. I say she can't. You shouldn't have toyed with her like that, Roy. We still have the majority. We don't vote for anything anymore. I'm not talking about voting. What then? You want to have a sit-in? A hunger strike? Not exactly.
Oh boy.
Maybe march into her office with torches and pitchforks? Yes. Come on. I mean it. What? Start a revolution? Laws don't outlast their governments.
Well, he's not wrong.
Roy, all we have to do is wait until someone from Justice Block gets picked for overseer. Then we have them change the law back. There won't be any blocks after the new overseer is picked tomorrow. Everyone's going to move on. By the time we've reformed, who knows if we'll still be in the majority.
Hey, don't interrupt.
We can hold the block together. You don't know that. Besides, what if the computer picks you? What if it picks me? And your solution is to start shooting? Not if we don't have to. Look, we arm up. We go to the lower floors, take some strategic targets. Power, food, water. Just until she turns authority over to us. The other blocks won't support it. They're tired of us having the power. We have the majority. We don't need them. This isn't a vote, Roy. They'll fight back. They've never had the nerve. Hell of a way to test it.
Yeah, that's an understatement. By the sound of things, these guys have enjoyed a monopoly on power for way too long. There's no way the other blocks would give up this opportunity without a fight. That's the ugly thing about democracy. A lot of times, the parties involved only pay the concept lip service. It's the greatest thing in the world if they win, but the moment they lose, expect them to use every dirty trick in the book to somehow discredit the whole process. And if it's not in the book, then expect them to go completely off the rails like this Roy guy is suggesting. Although to be fair to him, I guess Kate Stone destroyed the whole democratic process in the first place. But notice how he didn't say he was going to restore democracy. He said he wanted her to hand power over to them. So what's the big idea, Roy? Surely you're not gonna just dictate everything from now on. This is why I'm not surprised House isn't a big fan of democracy. He's used to being a dictator in his own company, and even if he told me he would create a democracy, I wouldn't believe him. Whatever democratic system he creates would just be a facade to give himself legitimacy, expected to be rigged to the very core. But let's back up for a moment here. The other guy said Roy shouldn't have toyed with her. What's that supposed to mean? Did they try to use her to make some kind of power play? Either way, that kind of proves my point. When you appoint someone who has a grudge and nothing to lose to a position of real power, prepare for unforeseen consequences. Granted, I'm surprised she decided to go with this direction. She's got a long-term vision, I can respect that. But even here, we have problems. Once her term is up, suppose the computer chooses someone from the Justice Block just like the other guy said. They do have the majority, so that means it should be just over 50-50 chance. That person could undo her legacy just like that. I guess they would have to bribe that person with a lot of favors or maybe threaten their families because, once again, that new overseer would have nothing to lose. Either way, this isn't a conclusive solution. And amongst all this, I still have no idea why they have to enforce a system like this. Why is the overseer tied with something so terrible? What's the rationale here? Is this another Voltec experiment? Oh, hold the phone, here's something I do understand. No need for complex reasoning behind killing vermin. I'm still looking for the Mantis King, by the way. Please let him know. Ooh, an armory. I'll be with you shortly. But yeah, I can only assume Roy and his Justice Block went through with their revolution, and that's why everybody's dead. Ironic name, by the way, Justice Block. I guess the word justice had a very flexible meaning in Vault 11. That alone tells you everything you need to know about what it was like in here, doesn't it? Remember, Nathan Stone only had one block endorsing him, and that was Justice Block. But that's all it took. When you have a majority like that, do you even have a democracy to speak of? What did it take for the other blocks to win? Did they ever win? I'm guessing not, unless they could secure approval from the Justice Block, or if they just happen to hate the same person. Holy shit, are those grenade rounds? Yep, they sure are. I would ask why you would need these in a vault, but Vault 34 has been desensitized to all that now. I'm not even gonna bother questioning it. Deposition? I'm not even sure what that means. Isn't that a pre-war legal thing? Excerpt from the deposition of the defendant Catherine Stone by Vault Attorney Gerard Miles. Okay, someone had to type all this out as they were speaking? Why not just have a recording? Whatever. Okay, let's pick up where we left off, Kate. Catherine. Sorry, right, Catherine. I keep forgetting. My husband calls me Kate. You were telling us of a discussion you allegedly had with Roy Gottlieb of the Justice Block? Not allegedly. Had. We've been through this. It's still just your word against his, Miss Stone. But please, the discussion. Don't you mean Mrs. Stone? At least get your facts right. He said my husband's name had come up in the meetings. The candidate endorsement meetings? Yes, they were going to endorse him. He wouldn't say why, but I know my husband had a regular poker game with some of them, and he's been on a winning streak lately. And according to you, what did Mr. Gottlieb offer? He said he could sway his block, prevent the endorsements, but only if you what, Catherine? Only if you perform sexual favors? Whoa, what? That's what he meant by toying with her? Understatement of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Was this just for Mr. Gottlieb? No, all the block leadership. They're friends. Oh, including that other guy in the recording, I presume? What a scumbag! These guys were operating on a whole different level when it comes to morality. And you agreed. What else could I do? They had a majority. How long did this go on before the endorsements came out? I don't know, a month, maybe? And when they came out and your husband was endorsed despite your supposed agreement, was that when you decided to kill members of the block? Well, I don't blame her now. Yes, I thought their majority is pretty slim. If I thinned things out a little, especially in the leadership, someone else might get elected. Oh, Catherine, I would say you were being way too naive, but given the circumstances, I can definitely see someone using this kind of logic. I mean, she sold herself and she's gonna lose her husband anyway. No way she would be thinking straight. If she was my wife and I found out about this, I would have gone on the killing spree as well. We could have done this together as our final night out. Literally go and paint the town red. Assuming you weren't caught. No, Mr. Miles, I expected to be caught. That was my best chance. Now they'll elect me. Wait. What? Is this your backup plan or your original plan? A confessed murderer? You think voters will be willing to risk putting you in charge? Exactly! They have to pick somebody and live with their reasons. Yes, but wait and see. Okay, wow, a lot to digest there. First of all, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks putting a convicted murderer in charge would be a terrible idea. I mean, sure, this poor woman wasn't really the sort of murderer people needed to worry about, but still, I'm surprised she didn't immediately place all of the Justice Block leadership under arrest, the ones who were still alive anyway. Secondly, the Justice Block decided to endorse Nate Stone just because they lost a few poker games to him? Somebody get me a microscope because I've never seen someone so petty and small. I'm surprised Catherine didn't kill that Roy guy first. They must have been in the majority for a very long time for them to flex their power for this kind of reason. Whoa, they had a mini nuke? Are you serious, Voltec? You couldn't be bothered to give this Vault a proper self-destruct mechanism, so you gave them this instead? Even Vault 34 didn't have one of these, although I guess the boomers might have taken them when they left. But that doesn't make me wrong, Voltec. You spent all these resources to conduct your sick experiments, and then you gave them something that could potentially flush all of it down the drain, most likely by accident? I mean, sure, I can imagine these Vaults needing some kind of self-destruct mechanism in case they lost control of their test subjects, but you stored this thing haphazardly on the table in the armory with a clear window for everyone to see. Real subtle there. It's a good thing you put a cheap lock on that door, otherwise someone might just walk in there and loot the entire room, and it's a really good thing that nobody was planning to stage a revolt. Ah yes, the revolution. I guess the whole question about how permanent Catherine Stone's solution would have been ended up being a moot point. Now that's at least 2 votes that ended up in a civil war. 3 if we assume Vault 19 went through something similar. Is that what Voltec predicted? Maybe it was even intentional. I mean, why the hell would they outfit this Vault with so many weapons? I didn't find a well-stocked armory like that in Vaults 22, 19, or 3. I'm still trying to figure out what the purpose of this experiment is. I know trying to get inside Voltec's head is like taking a trip through hell while you're high on jet, but usually there is some logic in the madness, even if it's barely visible and utterly twisted. I still need to know what really happens to the Overseers. What happens if they just refuse to cooperate with whatever's happening? Do they get injected with some kind of poison that goes off right after their turn ends? Give me some details, damn it. Well, I know how you're gonna die. You can make do with a shotgun. Okay, my expectations of the Overseer's office is what? What the hell happened there? Somebody put landmines in this vault too? Is that what happened to this corridor? God of explosions, please go back to sleep. Whoa, Rex, tripwire! Oh my god, you are so lucky. I was expecting a grenade. In fact, what the hell just happened? Was that a misfire? That's somehow even more terrifying. Holy shit, that's a rigged gun. Catherine Stone wasn't fucking around. Too bad it's only good for one shot though. I guess it's more like a very loud and deadly proximity alarm. It's a pretty nice office. Doesn't quite make up for the fact that you're gonna die. Eddie, please. But it helps, I guess. You get to spend the last moments of your life at the very top. Okay, Vault 11, give me something, please. Oh, you fuckers. You know, Kate, considering all you've been through, I don't want to call you a bitch for locking your terminal, but I'm struggling to think of another word.